your eyes and go back to when you were a kid. You remember building forts, building castles, building moats around them, and playing army men? That's what we used to do. And I suspect a lot of you did the same. The art of building forts is a lost art. In the old days, people understood when they moved out west or they moved into hostile territory and they were in search of family wealth and to try to build a life, the first thing they did, they knew they had to do is deal with protection. So they built forts and they made those things to where nobody could get in most cases. And they built moats and other things. That was the first thing they did. Now the fort was not where the wealth was going to be made. The fort was to give those people, those families, the safe haven they needed when they retreat from building wealth. So they would go out and explore and look for land and do all those things, but they needed a place to come back to hold that wealth so that wealth couldn't be taken. With that said, today we're going to talk about the concept, financially speaking, of fort building. And we're going to talk about the first area that's the most important, at least initially, protection, and the tools we use and how we use them. The other two are savings and investment. And if you can picture that as three circles intertwined, and at the heart of it, I'm going to talk to you about a tool that I've used for the past 20-something years since I learned about it, and how and why I used it. And it was the fort. Since when the dot-com bubble hit, that is when I changed direction. And I put less emphasis on stocks. Although it's a part of a plan, it is not, should not be, I believe, the majority of the plan when it comes to investments. I'm much more partial to alternative strategies and diversify along with the stock. One of the things I like a lot, and I've told you that, is real estate. And real estate brings, as we mentioned in the earlier episode, you can go back to and talk about many tax advantages, growth opportunities, as well as investments. But everyone needs the protection component. And you also need to know that that's a place where you can put money when it's not working for you. And you need to know that in that bucket, in that fort, it's protected from big wham, banks, insurance companies, government, Wall Street, attorneys, and medical expenses. Protected from lawsuit, bankruptcy, creditors, future tax explosions, all of those things. It's also liquid. It's available with a phone call in most cases. That's why I'm going to share with you the tool that is often demonized and not understood. Ironically, it was understood for hundreds of years until Wall Street got greedy. Wall Street decided they want a bigger share of the pie. Instead of having people diversify in the correct ways, they just started promoting that you're not very smart unless you have the majority of your money in the stock market and in the government's plan. Okay? So we're going to talk about max funded life insurance. And there's a lot of different kinds of life insurance. What I'm talking about is the type that you design to put in as much money and as little life insurance as possible to take full advantage of the tax code, 7702. And here's the thing. I'm going to give you 3 examples of why I use it as my fort, as a safe harbor, and where capital goes out to make money, then comes back for protection. The first one is, when I die, if I don't live long and I die immediately, there's going to be a large amount of tax-free money that goes to the heirs, and it bypasses probate, and it can be held outside of my estate if estate taxes get to be a problem. So tax-free to heirs. Second, it can be tax-free cash flow to me while I'm living, and it's money that does not cause a tax on Social Security or cause my Medicare premiums to go up. In other words, it's off the radar, so to speak. So cash flow, tax-free to the heirs. The third one is collateralization. I want to spend a minute on collateralization. The thing about the cash value life insurance that other things don't allow, some things do, but not as efficiently as what I'm talking about. The cash value life insurance is compounding without taxes. And when I need money to buy a property, a down payment, or to pay cash for it, I'll simply make a phone call and to send me money borrowed against the cash value. Now what happens is they send me money, there's no taxes on it, I'm still earning interest, compounding, that money's deployed, I pay interest back to the insurance company for the use of the money, but it's been an in and out, I guess you could say, a revolving door. So the reason I say you have protection, savings, and investments, those three circles, and in the middle, you have the Swiss Army knife. I'm talking about cash value life insurance, the ability to borrow against it to go into investments, the ability to protect the money from lawsuit, bankruptcy, creditors in most states around the country, and the ability to extract money. Remember, Christian capitalism is when the need to succeed is more than greed. That's what it's all about. I'll leave you with the thought that I always have is that don't speak of the average man. There is no such thing. Each and every one of you, each and every individual is made in the image and likeness, eternally changing image and likeness of God the Father. And every man has a mission. When you see a person and that person passes away, you have lost something that will never be here again. So when you see the world that way, it affects how you act in the world. Partner with God and remember, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.